eating the most delicious bug. Yeah. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 3 freckled frogs. Glop, glop. Stop this, Trevor. 3 little freckled frogs sitting on a speckled rock.
I'm Margaret King, and I teach in the Child Development Early Childhood Program here at Ohio University. And we put together a tape for high school students, which will give them information about the Early Childhood Child Development Program here at Ohio University, as well as give them some information about career options. You will have an opportunity to talk to students who are beginning their training here at Ohio University, as well as students who are toward the end of their training, who are student teaching. You will also have the opportunity to talk to teachers who work in child care programs, as well as former students, such as Lillian Dean, who is a high school vocational education teacher who works with high school students who are interested in child development. You will also meet Leslie Pasick, who is a child care administrator and who has worked for many years as a teacher in daycare programs as well as Head Start programs, and Grace Essex, who is an owner of a child care program.
3 little mountain kids swinging on the tree. Teasing Mr. Alligator, you can catch me. Snap, snap, snap.
What is needed is an individual who is well-rounded in child development, who, when he is on the job, will have the openness to communicate both with children, with parents, with almost everyone that comes through the program. So it does take a lot of patience. And then the skills that will be needed to dealing with young children, because they're not the easiest ones to deal with.
I think the kind of student we're looking for is not only a student who is warm and open to children, but we need a student who has a good academic background.
I think that a well-rounded background is real important, especially for high school students, because when you're working with young children, you're working with everything from science to math to the world around them. You're talking a lot of times about just everyday kinds of things, and it doesn't mean that you have to be an expert, say, in algebra, but you do have to have a knowledge of mathematics to be able to work with the children and to talk with them and answer their questions.
And so the person who comes in and has good language skills, good writing skills, good interpersonal communication skills, that's the kind of things we stress.
I'd say they'd have to spend a lot of time with kids before they can realize if they're, going to be a good child development major or not.
But you definitely can pick out the student who has that extra special quality. They can pick up on the teachable moment, or is extra sensitive to what's going on with a child, or has a moment to explore the tiniest little thing, that the average adult will just pass right over.
I think it would definitely be a field for a male to enter if they like and enjoy working with children. The male children, the little boys, are just starving for that male attention, and they would be very successful.
The young men who come into my program, I tell them we need more young men, because as soon as the men get into the profession, the pay goes up. And so I'm encouraging these young men to come into our program, because it's going to benefit the women too.
Well, I think with the increase of women in the workforce, the fact that a lot of families are forced to have 2 wage earners in each family, I believe that there is going to be more of a demand for child care and quality child care.
We're coming to a point where it's really becoming recognized as a profession, and as the profession increases, the recognition for it as a profession increases, that we will begin to see people who really will choose early childhood and will stick with it as a long-term career.
You don't come into this field for the money. But I think, just like any other program, the supply and demand, if the demand for early childhood professionals will increase the way we are told it's going to, I think that the money might come with it. I think if the government gets involved and we do have some programs in the school systems, I think the money will come with it.
And now what we're saying is that more and more states are building in training, or if they haven't built in training already, they are thinking about requiring that people have some professional education. And certainly the public schools are going to require that if they're going to have programs for 3, 4, and 5-year-old kids in public schools, that the people who work in those programs are going to have degrees in early childhood education or a related field, and they're going to also have to have a teaching certificate.
I'd like to teach university level. I would like to be a consultant for corporations. I'd like to work for the government. There's a lot of things I'd like to do once I get my degrees, and then I can kind of narrow in on different things.
Quite a few of our students leave Ohio University and find themselves not necessarily in classrooms working with young children, but in situations where they are the child care administrator.
I'd like to start some type of corporate daycare plan with getting big corporations into having a daycare center right there on the site.
Other things that early childhood people sometimes do is work as child care licensing specialists, where they go around to daycare centers and inspect to make sure that daycare centers are meeting certain kinds of regulations. And all of those opportunities are certainly offered to students who graduate from a 4-year program, and mainly because there are so few people who have 4-year degrees and so few people who are professionally trained in the field.
Lots of things I was interested in, but mostly children, and so I just started flipping through the catalog and trying to find something that related to children, and I finally found it under the home ec department for child development. So I started out with the associate's program in child development, and then when I realized I was able to work with the kids here, I was able to get hands-on experience and know that, yes, this is really what I like to do. So then I was able to go ahead and go on to the 4-year plan afterwards. I didn't lose any hours. Everything just seemed to fit really well. It went from 2 years to 4 years.
One of the strands of the early child education program is that students have an opportunity to participate in a variety of practicums, and starting with the sophomore year. During the sophomore year, they visit the Child Development Center once or twice a week for 2 to 3 hours a week, and they have an opportunity to observe and to participate with young children between the ages of birth and 6. When they reach their junior year, they come into the center, and in addition to observation and participation, they actually teach activities to young children.
The stuff you learn in the classroom all makes sense when you can see it happening in the lab. And that's one thing I really like, having the lab and the classroom together here at the university, because it all supports each other.
And when they reach their senior year, then they have a full student teaching experience where they work at the Child Development Center for a full quarter.
It's fun. You learn a lot when you're in the classroom the whole day, rather than just a part of the day, like when you're in labs. We do it 2 and 3 hour labs, but when you're there for 8 hours a day, you learn a lot more.
We feel that offering students a lot of hands-on experience with children is very important, because just as children learn from having the real or the concrete experiences, so do adults. And so we really believe that's a major, I guess, part of our program. In addition to the practical experiences, students have to meet general education requirements, so they have to take courses in social sciences and natural science and applied science, and also in fine arts, as well as English and math. In addition to that, they take professional courses in child development, childhood guidance, methods and materials, administration, and theories of child development. They also take courses in psychology and linguistics, language development, art, music, and related areas.
I think probably my coursework that I had here at OU helped me develop creativity. I guess I never really considered myself a creative person, but yet between my home economics classes and the art classes that I did take and methods classes, I had the opportunity to experience try a lot of things.
I also took a course in women in leadership roles, which was offered through the home economics department, which I also found very helpful in looking at, it forced me to look at myself and my management or leadership style, which I think has helped me now that I am an administrator and do supervise other staff people.
I also credit, OU for helping me develop leadership skills in terms of being in a supervisory capacity, because I certainly when I entered college, never entered my mind that I would own a daycare center, let alone that I would be in an administrative position.
Little monkey is swinging on the tree. It means that alligator, you can catch me. Snap, snap, snap.
I've really enjoyed it. I like children a lot. They're very spontaneous, and I would just say come to visit the center and see what it's all about. You know, spend a couple days here and just follow the routine and have a good time with it.
And that is a major part in deciding if this is right for you or not. You have to go in and actually interact with the children. You can't just say, oh, that sounds good to me, I have a little sister. So you have to actually go in and see the kids.
I want a student who's healthy of mind, healthy of body, and healthy of soul, I guess. You know, and I think that's the kind of role model we want to be for the children.
One little monkey is swinging on the tree. Teasing Mr. Alligator, you can catch me. Snap, snap, snap.
If you want more information on how to major in child development, write to School of Home Economics, Room 108, Temple Hall, Ohio University, Athens, Ohio, 45701. 1, 2, 3. Went the little green frog one day. Went the little green frog. Went the little green frog one day, and the little green frog went.
Very good. Everybody say that.
The wheels on the bus goes round and round, round and round, round and round. The wheels on the bus goes round, 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 all through the town.